Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CSR AdviceBox studio. I'm Marina Stefanova, and together we are going to discover step by step the sustainability processes and approaches to cover and manage your business. Today, I'm going to discuss with you the very interesting topic of responsible investment. Maybe you think that investors are not part of the formula, but no, they are. Investors already found out that it is crucial to incorporate environmental, social, and governance information in the decision-making of their process, where to invest, how long to invest in these subsidiaries and companies, and finally, whether it is going to have some impact on the risks and return analysis. We are going to cover and answer the questions: what is it? How long does it take? How much does it cost? What does it require to implement a responsible investment plan? And finally, is it worth doing it? Take a cup of very strong coffee because it's going to be a very hot issue. Sit comfortably, put your headphones on, and let's start. The worldwide recognized United Nations Initiative on Principles for Responsible Investment defines it as an approach to investing that aims to incorporate environmental, social, and governance factors into investment decisions to better manage risk and generate sustainable, long-term returns. Here are some examples. Environmental, like climate change, greenhouse gas emissions, resource depletion, including water, waste, and pollution, deforestation. Social ones, working conditions, including slavery and child labor, local communities, including indigenous communities, conflict, employee relations and diversity, health and safety. Governance, like executive pay, bribery and corruption, political lobbying and donations, tax strategy, board diversity and structure. We all know that one of the most important stakeholders in our work are the people, organizations, or institutions that are giving us credit to spend, invest, and probably double their money. So investors are very important for our work, and we need to speak with them on the same language, to have the same priorities in order to be able to achieve the same objectives. Some of the most valuable and important investors worldwide once decided that they would need to put sustainability on their focus at a very large scale, not only having it like something that is very good to know, but it is not important at all. Together with the United Nations Global Compact, they built a special annex to this compact in order just to refer to their organizational responsible practices, and they called it Principle for Responsible Investment. So every fund who is seeking to define themselves like responsible fund can join this initiative and unite efforts with all the other members of this organization in order to better align ESG factors to its everyday job on following, searching, and finding investment to grow. What are the main principles of this initiative together with the 10 principles of the Global Compact we already discussed in a previous series? Principle number 1. Incorporate ESG issues into investment analysis and decision-making processes. Principle number 2. Active ownership and incorporation of ESG issues into the ownership policies and practices. Principle number 3. Appropriate disclosure on ESG issues by the entities in which the separate fund invests. Principle number 4. Promotion, acceptance and implementation of these principles with the whole investment industry. Principle number 5. Working together to enhance the effectiveness in implementing the principles. Principle number 6. Reporting on the activities and progress towards implementing all the principles we already mentioned. Your favorite practical question: how does the perfect responsible investment plan look like? At first, it has a rationale, it has an introduction in which you have to define why is important for your investment organization to have all these ESG factors included in your work. Here you may put some history or some background or some objective that you want to share with all the people and stakeholders who are interested in working with you. Second very important thing is to have definition section. This means that you have to put the appropriate, the common language that you're going to use in the document and in the communications with your stakeholders. In this definition, it is very good practice to put some of the codes, international or national standards, on which you base your policy further. Point number 3, include the responsible investment guidelines and define them very broadly. This is the most important part, in which you have to focus on 2 very important things, having in mind that there is no one sample of investment guidelines. They differ from a company to company, from an investment fund to investment fund, so you have to look inwards and see what is your main objectives on these guidelines. Do not forget to include some specifics, whether it refers only to internally managed or externally managed assets, as well as be able to see some frames that are acting at national, industrial, international level and be able to incorporate them there just to cover all the requirements coming from outside. Point number 4, responsible investment incorporation procedures. It is very important from the beginning that all the stakeholders interested in partnering with you, in working with you, will be able to know what is the approach we are going to take. It can be positive or negative screening, including the ESG factors as we already discussed, having an active participation and ownership or any other form, or maybe a combination of them all, but you should state it clear. Engagement and active participation procedures and opportunities. Every investment entity has such an engagement, and they are usually put in a separate engagement plan or part of the responsible investment plan. It's your decision to see there is no better solution for this, but if it's a separate document, you have to refer to it in this paper as well, so all the other interested can see them afterwards. The final very important point that you shouldn't miss in your responsible investment plan is to have a reporting section. In this you can say who and to whom is going to report, which are the guidelines you are going to use, whether it's yours or they are some of the internationally recognized ones, who is going to review internally and externally all the data provided as well, and finally to whom stakeholders and how you're going to provide access to this information. While discussing responsible investment, we have to be aware that there are also other approaches to investment existing around. Some of them include socially responsible investment, ethical investment, green investment, or sustainable one. They have something else which is going to unite them, And this is that they are serving not only to a financial return cause, but also ethical perspective or social perspective in their evaluation and decision making. You have to know and understand that responsible investment is something that is going deeply for the financial return. Nevertheless, ESG factors are very important. They are part of the material assessment of the risk and returns. So even for a normal fund, you also have to know them and to incorporate them in your policy. To have a responsible investment plan and to manage it is a business process. In order to make it properly and to take best of it, you have to know that there is no a single and unique form that it is going to be implemented in. You can choose to make it in a form of a code of conduct or responsible investment guidelines, or just to put it as a procedure on your web page. It depends on you. Do not forget to have 3 important parts of this investment procedure. The first step is to draft a policy statement. You have to sit carefully, look around, see what your peers are doing, find your exact place, draft something, becoming able to discuss it with your stakeholders and stockholders. Look around and see all the ESG indicators or requirements at national, industrial, international level. Be able to see the international good practices, some of them called of standards, and then finalize the statement, putting it very clearly on something, on your web page, on the brochures you're spreading, or something that is going to be your primary communication tool. Do not forget that ESG factors are only statistics. These are data. They are not really having something more like actions. These actions we are going to discuss right now. I know, dear investors, that you have a reputation you have to care of. You also have everyday planning and decision-making process, also validating all your decisions by having this data and following the trends in every investee or company you work with. But do not forget one important thing. You are one of the primary instruments for influence the position, the policy making, and the market behavior of the companies you already invested in. They will listen to you, they will follow your guidance. So please take in mind and pay attention to help these investees to be able to answer to your requirements. Have a special protective policy or a capacity building policy, but be strict with requiring them to provide ESG data, to implement one of the reporting instruments that are worldwide. Nevertheless, it can be GRI or some other form of reporting, or non-financial reporting as it is guided by the European Commission if we speak about European countries. Finally, be able to incorporate this information such that you can follow it in your integrated report and integrated evaluation, because if it is so diverse you cannot unite it, it will be useless for your decision-making process. I think that it is very important that you focus on these issues and finally understand and start working on implementing them, because they are really important. There is a very bad reputation on the financial sector coming from the last 10 years. So what we can see is that nobody already likes the short-termism and the short view of financial institutions looking for fast profit. Most of us are already in a mood that we want to see a long-term vision. We want to see a wider stability and sustainability of the financial system we want to support. This means that you have to already deal with some stakeholders and stockholders who are more informed. They want to see their value invested with the money that they provide you, and not only the return of their investment. On the other hand, there are some things that you cannot avoid anymore because they are just going on your reputational risk or the risk of your investees. Usually it is related with working conditions or with the pollution or with the climate change, and now these topics are worldwide recognized. You cannot ignore them anymore. Finally, the financial instruments are also developing, and you can use this responsible investment as a marketing tool, as a competitive advantage that you can offer to all the companies that you want to invest in. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a very good session on responsible investment. This is CSR AdviceBox, and it's me, Marina Stefanova, being your companion during the last 10 minutes. If you like this video useful, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe for all the recent updates and new videos that we are going to upload. If you urge to see all the videos of this season, just go to the website and pre-buy them. Do not forget to like us, share the information with your peers. We are growing worldwide online. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next 2 weeks when we are going to discuss how to build a sustainable supply chain and what is it in reality. Till then, follow us on our Facebook page to see the recent updates on CSR worldwide, and be healthy.